Everybody's already level 25 and raid logging at this point, and many of you are considering getting an ult, or maybe you should consider it, but today we are gonna go over what are the classes that are really good to make an ult for right now, so you can take advantage of your time. American welfare recipients? So there are many reasons why you would wanna get an ult. They range from convenience to flat fun, so we are gonna go over the most common reasons to get an ult, and of course what ults are the best for that reason. Alright, first of all, most of the people that get an ult do it for this reason, which is playing another role. A lot of people have a tanking ult, a healing ult, so on and so forth. I am gonna recommend you for both of those cases. First of all, if you want a healer right now, you can't go wrong with the priest. They have two viable healing specs right now that they can play. They are pretty good. They are always in demand, especially in the Horde, and they are not going anywhere next tier. If anything, the logs show that whatever was the most powerful class traditionally in vanilla is kicking ass even more right now. Warriors. And this is not gonna change. Blizzard made a pretty big boom mistake balancing the classes, and we are gonna take advantage of that. Priests have a lot of really good advantages. They are very strong. They do not take that much gear, even though they scale well. They do not take that much gear to be useful, and they have magic dispels, which makes them very valuable in raids. As for tanking though, you may be thinking I am gonna recommend a warrior or a shaman because those are the two most strongest classes right now in the game. But even though they are excellent tanks, I wanna say that if you wanna play an old tank, you gotta go bear. Yeah, why the bear druid? Very simply because they need no gear. You can get a badass naked druid and compare it to a full vest in slot druid, and they are almost the same thing. The whole point of playing an ult, from my point of view, is that you're doing it low effort. It's just something you do on the side, and as such, you probably don't want to be spending a lot of time farming gear, and for that scenario, there is very little things as good as the druid. Besides, if you wanna get a healer and a tank at the same time, you can still level up a druid and you can do both pretty well. Druid healers are still very meta and useful. You can quite literally tank a whole BFT, badass naked, fresh 25, and nobody is gonna notice or care. I mean, people are gonna mold at the bear, people keep saying that the bear is trash, people kept saying that the bear needed buffs before they got buffed, and I was like, no they don't, and then now they got buffs, so we're even stronger now. They just cannot accept that you can go in without anything and still do well. Are they as good as a warrior? Hell no. But for 90% of the guilds that do not really care, they cannot really take the difference. So we are going do. Druid, get it? Now another reason that is one of the most common reasons to make an ult is a gold farming ult. Alright, many classes, druid, priest, they suck at making money, and even if you love the class, it is not a bad idea to get another class to farm gold with, just to save some time. And so far, the gold farming meta is pretty stale. Mages, of course, they can AoE farm, they can solo hard bosses too, and they are always one of the best classes for gold. Also, as far as I know, they never fixed the Sulfarak exploit to farm all the zombies in there, so at level 40 they are gonna be even better at farming gold. The only problem with this is that if you're gonna play a mage for money, you probably wanna go improve Blizzard or some sort of AoE spec, and that is gonna mean that you cannot really use it for anything else. They are not gonna be that good in PvP, they are not gonna be that good in PvE. As a matter of fact, you show up with improved Blizzard to a raid, people are gonna get mad. Then there is of course the primordial gold farming class of all time, and that is the Hunter. Now, Hunters are very strong at soloing world content in general, they can kill elite mobs very easily, and the best farm right now to my knowledge is farming Razorfang Crawl. For the blue drops, the BOEs, they are very expensive, but they are also good at pretty much anything, really. You can quest with them for money very fast, you can grind random mobs for money very fast, and they will stay one of the best gold making classes pretty much forever. Another honorable option, I guess I should mention it, is the Arms Warrior. They went from one of the worst farming classes ever to one of the strongest with Victory Rush. They can grind mobs pretty much non-stop at a damage output that is insane. The only drawback really is that it only works if you are grinding mobs that are decently weaker than you, really. So if you are farming level 25 mobs, it's probably not the best for that, but if you're farming like level 23, 22 mobs, the warrior is probably the best right now. Alright, I know what you're thinking. Where PvP? Where is the PvP? That's what I always get in the comments. Okay, we're gonna talk about PvP a little here. The meta right now is pretty solved because the meta is Warzone Gulch, because that's where you get your rep and your honor. It's the crappiest of all battlegrounds, it sucks. Anyway, the meta for it is pretty solved. There is a few good really classes that everybody wants in there. First of all, you might say that the best flag carrier is the druid. And you are wrong, the best flag carrier right now is most of the time the shaman if you are in the horde. Druids do not have travel form or dash in their builds yet, and your cat is not very fast, it's only 30%, and they are decent flag runners. Like, you're not gonna be trolling if you're having a druid flag run, but for the most part you are getting shamans for it because they are faster. Another thing you always need in Warzone Gulch is a hunter, at least one hunter to defend the base. Hunters are extremely hard to catch, extremely hard to kill, and that makes them just annoying enough that they can stop people picking up the flag for a long time. And lastly, and I think this one is the best if you really wanna get into a pre-made without any effort, this is gonna be a healer. Right now, the best ones are priests, everybody wants to play a priest, but any healer is gonna do actually. Nobody wants to play a healer in PvP for some reason, and they are crucial for winning any comp. So trust me, as long as you go healer, you are gonna have an easy time getting into pre-mades. Now I am gonna do a little twist. I am gonna go over all the classes really quick and I'm gonna tell you each one of them if they make a good ult or not. Okay, warrior is generally not great because they need damage, as I explained. You kinda feel like you're playing half a class when you don't have a lot of gear on it. I am playing a warrior ult myself right now, but objectively speaking, probably not a great ult. Druids on the flip side are very easy to ult for the opposite reason. They require almost no gear in pretty much any other specs, and they can do all three roles very well, so you get a lot of options. They are support oriented, and that means they are gonna be liked by people. People are gonna want them even if they are not very good. Warlocks are decent at farming gold as well, and they are one of the easiest classes to level, so that also is a pretty cool thing. The only downside I see is that they are kinda hard. The skill cap at PvP and PvE, especially PvP, is very high, and I would only play a Warlock ult if you already have quite a bit of experience on the Warlock. Then mages are easy, they are efficient, they are convenient, they are a 10 out of 10 ult class S tier. Hunters are also the same, they are a little harder to play, but they are so good at so many things, and they need so little, they are excellent for ults. Priests are really good ults, but that's only for healing. If you wanna play Shadow, play a Warlock, okay? Shadow is dead. Shamans are not great ults right now because they are not particularly strong at the moment. Shamans are very good as tanks, and if you wanna tank, it's okay. But if I were you, and this is what I'm gonna do by the way, I am gonna wait for level 40, because at level 40 that's when you get all your cool stuff. You get your chain heal, you get your big boom boom spells, you get your good totems. That's when I'm gonna be playing it. Paladins, on the other hand, are working much better as ults, with all three specs more or less viable right now, and full of buffs and utility that everybody likes. They have never a problem getting into raids. Also, the PvP of a Paladin is god tier. Rogues are kinda crap for ults. They are a big pumper DPSer, which means that if you're not a tryhard, there is not much in the rogue for you PvE wise. PvP, okay, PvP is fine, but I think one of the cool things you can do with the rogue, if you wanna do that, is really boring. You can pickpocket farm. There is a lot of pickpocketing gold farms that are pretty good. That's what all the Chinese bots are doing. And that's about it, honestly. I hope you got to decide what you wanna play now. Maybe you can let me know in the comments. Maybe you can tell me how much the bears suck. You are not gonna change my mind. Sorry for telling you. Subscribe, leave a like, join the Discord, and thank you for watching.